welcome back to Tech Visa. It's actually been a very long time.
It has been, Zach, hasn't it?
We can't leave it so long between drinks moving forward. There hasn't been a whole lot to talk about recently, but we have actually received a couple of updates over the last week or so, which has been really exciting. So today, there's 4 things I want to cover. The new stipulations around 482 and 494 visa holders and the regulations around change in employers.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look back at what it used to be, what it is now. New income thresholds come in the 1st of July 2025. So just something for employers and employees to be aware of, that there are some increases in income thresholds. A few trends around the 482 visa that I kind of just want to discuss and get your thoughts on. And then a topic that everyone loves, and that's updated processing times.
Yes, great.
Let's get stuck in.
Definitely, let's go.
So we have received and seen some new stipulations around changing employers for 482 and 494 visa holders.
Yes.
I would like to pick your brain and get further clarification around this. But at the same time, what I want to do is I want to take a look back at what the stipulations and regulations used to be before these new changes came into place, and then look at what they are now.
Okay, so going back before the 1st of July 2024, it was that if you hold a 482 visa holder, you were bound by condition 8607 imposed on your visa, meaning that you only had a 60-day gap if you wanted to change employment. Effectively, what that meant is you couldn't start with a new employer until a new nomination has been lodged and approved with a new sponsoring entity.
Okay, and you had that 60-day period to find a new employer and lodge a nomination transfer.
That's correct. So if you were unfortunately made redundant, then you had the 60 days to sort yourself out. We always thought that was not sufficient amount of time from the conversations we had with candidates, especially when the job market was pretty volatile sort of during the COVID recovery period. So obviously the government has also heard that and then took on board. So that was the 482. For the 494 visa holders, they used to have 90 days. It was a little bit longer because it was in a regional locations with less probably roles available. Then came around 1st of July, the department announced that in consideration of all of the feedback it was getting from industry bodies and employment bodies, that we're going to extend that from the 60 days to 180 days. That is well received by both sides, so the visa holders or the candidates as well as employers. What that effectively means is that from the date that a 482 visa holder wraps up or ceases employment with the sponsoring employer that they're with right now, that's when the 180 days starts. And then in that 180 days, they can work outside of the nominated occupation. They can even work for a new employer. It's also to ensure that visa holders do not suffer financial hardship if they are not able to find another role in the skilled occupation they have previously been nominated under.
So there were 2 major updates there. It was the extension from 60 days to 180 days to find a new employer. But what it also allowed was visa holders to continue working in that 180-day period, whether it was in their nominated occupation or outside of that as well, which was a breath of fresh air for visa holders, because that could be a really stressful period. Firstly, you only had 60 days, which isn't a very long time to find a new sponsor, never mind just another employer. But then also in that 60-day period, you couldn't work.
Correct.
So it really, really left them in a tough spot. All right, let's talk about the new income thresholds. Before the skills in demand visa, it was called the temporary skilled migration income threshold. Since the introduction of the skills in demand visa, we have 2 separate income thresholds.
Correct.
So we'll touch on those a little bit later. Let's again take a look back and see how the income thresholds have progressed and slightly changed over the last few years. So in July 2023, we saw a significant jump in the temporary skilled migration income threshold. So it went from $53,900 to $70,000. Then in 2024, this increased from $70,000 to $73,150.
Correct.
July 2025, this income threshold will increase once again. So something that employers and employees need to be aware of, as any nominations lodged after the 1st of July 2025 will need to meet this new income threshold. So since the skills and demand visa has 2 separate streams, so we've got the core skills stream and the specialist skills stream.
Correct.
Each of these have different minimum income thresholds.
Yes.
So currently, the core skills income threshold is $73,150 and the specialist skills income threshold is $135,000. The core skills is increasing to $76,515. So a significant increase.
Indexed against CPI is the term that the government has been using. So to combat the cost of living pressures as well, to allow visa holders to also have real wage growth.
And then the specialist skills income threshold is increasing from $135,000 to $141,210. So
Correct.
give me your thoughts on this, I guess, straight out of the gates. Most likely, we're going to see a bit more pushback in the core skills stream.
Definitely. So, fantastic summary of the changes, Zach. I think the common question we get asked by employers and employees as well is how is this salary determined? So we have to say the way we define it, it is guaranteed earnings, not including any unable to be predicted sort of OTE or commissions that are not guaranteed.
Yep.
So that means is the base salary plus superannuation plus anything else that you could add. It's a bit of a struggle because a lot of our enterprise agreements for certain occupations.
Yeah.
So the ones that come to the top of my head are trade ones. So you'll be your hairdressers, your mechanics, your chefs, and your cooks. Even Australians that are trained in those particular trades are not at the level that's required for the new income thresholds for the core stream pathway. So that does create a bit of an issue for employers. I think it's largely accepted by visa holders, and it's probably a welcome change for many that feel like they haven't been growing or falling behind.
So Em, I want to take a look at a few trends around the 482 visa. So when we saw these, I guess, relatively significant income thresholds increasing year on year, we expected the number of 482 visa applications to drop. It's actually taken an opposite effect.
Yeah, I think the department also anticipated because they got rid of the short stream application process where people were getting 2-year visas paying the $1,455 to everyone paying the same $3,115 for an application fee means that many might not proceed with a 482. Employers might not want to sort of cover the costs, whatever it might be, but it hasn't been. It's actually on the reverse. So the department has said that they are receiving over 3,000 plus applications just to the employer sponsor program team.
A week.
And the demand is high, even though the fees are bigger, meaning that the department is inundated and they haven't been able to catch up.
For context, that's an increase of 60%. So that's a huge jump.
Huge amount.
Perfect segue into our next topic, which is visa processing times. When they introduced the specialist skills stream, they said, oh, look, okay, processing times are going to be 7 days. We were all like, wow, how are they going to do this? When they first introduced it, we did see some pretty quick turnarounds for 482 visas lodged in the specialist skills stream, but it has slowly blown out.
Correct.
The overview right now is that the specialist skills stream, the average is about 13 days. The core skills stream is 41 days, and the labour agreement stream is 71 days.
I mean, look, real life example, we lodged someone who was a specialist stream in a regional location for a 482 visa, salary above $135,000 on Tuesday last week, and it was approved both the nomination and visa this morning.
Okay.
So that is one that where it's kind of 1-ish weeks to most of the specialist stream we lodged is definitely coming back within sort of the 13 days that they're given.
Permanent residency, so subclass 186, temporary resident transition stream, direct entry stream, we're looking at like 12 to 18 months now.
That's correct. So I mean, it was good. It was about 3 to 6 months, 6 to 9 months, and now it's kind of like 12 to 15 months. So we have most of our applications lodged for ENS or the 186, whether it's direct entry or temporary resident transitional pathway, around the 12 to 15 month mark. Obviously, if the 186 nominations on a priority in an industry, so that's healthcare or education or in a regional location, they are getting processed faster still. So those are still kind of within 6 months. But everyone else that are professionals in metropolitan Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane are facing longer wait times.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time. And if you do have any questions, feel free to get in touch with our team. Always happy to jump on a call.
Bye.